Why don't I take you out back in the alleyways and show you how things work around here, huh? That won't be necessary. Sorry for the trouble. I'll take care of him. Oh, no you don't. Just as my hand reaches out for Francesco's arm to pull him out of the way, the bouncer's grip encloses around my wrist. Hard. Hey all you cool creatures. I'm Cryptid. Welcome to the Cryptid Plays YouTube channel, and today we are playing more of Obscura. This time we are going down Francesco's route. Now obviously, warning, this is an 18+ visual novel that contains strong language, descriptions of gore, and suggestive content. We can check out the warnings page for more details. I will check out Francesco's warnings. But we are gonna get into it. Alright. I will pull up Francesco's warnings. Alright. Francesco unknowingly wields power over the player character and obligates them to act in ways they may not like. Mandatory drug use, I see. Mandatory alcohol use. Mandatory aphrodisiac use. Other characters have sex out of sight with audio cues, torture. I will not be age restricting this unless I find out that later chapters will have explicit sexual content. So just be warned that these are part of it and this is intended for an adult audience. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Before I do anything, I'm going to move myself over a wee bit so that you can see more of this beautiful imagery, because this game is gorgeous. Enjoy the music. I find a spot near a wall where I'm unlikely to be walked into and stand there, watching the band. They're good, and it feels good to just stand and listen. I can't relax completely with strangers surrounding me. I have to make sure no one tries to sneak a hand under my cloak in search of money or anything else. But it's a background concern. Most of my focus is on the music. A flautist does a playful solo, supported by the rest of the players, weaving a rich harmony. Another tune sees a singer duet with a guitarist. When I've gotten my fill of the music and my nibbles, and my feet start to ache to move again, I shift away from the wall. I walk deeper into the space. Through an open doorway is a large parlor set up with small round tables and an abundance of chairs. I wonder how many people are doing business here. I doubt barging into most of these hushed conversations would endear me to these people, but there's a loud crowd at the back of the room. They're even standing on a section of the room a little higher from the rest. That screams, "Notice me." The crowd bursts into loud, barking laughter. Whoever's at the center of that conversation is probably quite entertaining. And then, on the other side of the room is a man who immediately draws the eye. He's dressed brightly in contrast to all the skulking shadows around him, myself included. Perhaps his posture is a little stiff, but I certainly was stiff as a new arrival to the marketplace. Unlike me, though, is all the evidence of wealth on him: the shining white clothes, the gold trim, the new shimmering mask. Any problem here can be solved with enough money. Maybe he's got solutions. And if he's new, I might be able to play my cards right. I step a little deeper into the parlor to let someone else in. No need to block the doorway. Well, we are approaching the wealthy stranger because that is Francesco. Apparently he's a really sweet character, so we're probably gonna like him even in spite of the content warnings. Then again, I also liked Oleander quite a lot. It takes me a moment to swallow my initial nervousness, but he's clearly more on edge than I am. That alone gives me the necessary push I need. Up close, I take notice of smaller details on him. The golden embroidery weaved intricately throughout his coat, the gorgeous engravings on the sheath of his dagger, the way his chestnut curls delicately frame his face. He's quite beautiful. I waste no more time and slide into the seat next to him. Hey. He's startled. He's really cute. Oh. He jumps right up, frazzled. Forgive me, I didn't notice you. Who? It's okay, buddy. Are you all right? Yes, I'm sorry. I only just arrived here the other day. Jackpot! He's as inexperienced as can be. Easy prey. His voice is lightly accented, tinted with warmth. I think I recognize it, but I can't quite place my finger on it. Then we're the same. I pause and hold out my hand. Cryptid. Oh my, he is very easily, delighted. An unexpected blush rises to his cheeks as delicate fingers hold mine. Then he turns it so my palm is facing down, and by the time I realize his lips are gently brushing against my knuckles, he's already pulled back. His smile radiates kindness, but I'm left confused, having expected a handshake. Is this how people greet each other where he comes from? That's a lovely name. I'm truly delighted to meet you. My name is Francesco. Well, Francesco, it's nice to meet you too. Does everyone give out kisses this freely where you're from? Oh no. Did I perhaps offend you? That wasn't in my intention. Is it that unusual to kiss someone's hand here? Incredibly sheltered. He might not know the ways of the underground at all. For all I know, he gave me his real name just then. It's uncommon, to say the least. But I'm not offended at all, just surprised. Oh, are you certain? Sure, you can relax around me. Okay. God, he's cute! He perks right up, and I slowly realize that this boy genuinely believes every word coming out of my mouth. Well, then we better be nice to him. The thought is almost frightening. I have to ask about his name. There's some unsavory characters down here who are all too willing to take advantage of people like him. Francesco? I lower my voice. Yes? He tilts his head inquisitively. That's not your real name by any chance, is it? His face falls and forms into a small frown. You think I would lie to you? I have to admit that's a little hurtful. I sit there, baffled. The next second, suspicion settles deep in my gut. Nobody down here is actually that naive, right? Surely not. When you pass those gates, you pass them with the knowledge that you're going somewhere the overworld would rather forget about. That has to be it. He's deceiving me. Just as soon as I think that, he frantically searches through his pockets and pulls out a little card forged out of a fine whitish metal with his name carved right onto it. When his digits press onto the smooth surface, multiple rows of engravings surface to reveal additional information that I'm too shocked to read properly. Francesco, sorry. This man is serious. Either that or his plan is foolproof. Okay, so while this has to do with the ending outcomes, it doesn't matter. Except for a couple of the last endings. So I'm going to not trust him first because obviously the two first endings will be bad ones. So don't trust him. Also, I'm in love with this music. But yeah, don't trust him. I've seen his type before. Talented actors, recruited by guilds of thieves and shady businessmen to help out with their various endeavors. He won't fool me. But that doesn't mean I can't fool him right back. Two can play at this game. Listen, you can't go around waving that card or giving out your name willy-nilly. That's just asking for trouble down here. Again, he's taken off guard. Really? Yes. Do you know where you are? A wonderful place. I've been told that if you want to experience everything that humanity has to offer, then this is where you must go. Well, that's one way of looking at it. That being said, we should find you a temporary name for while you're down here. A new secret name? Will you come up with one for me, Cryptid? What kind of nickname will you give him? Let's see. I don't think that this matters, like, at all. So I'm gonna go with something silly first, and then I'll come back and get the normal one. Floppy. Oh boy. I can actually choose the nickname. It's gonna be hard. Baby Man. How about Baby Man? What? I hardly stifle a laugh. Nobody will know who you really are with this name. I suppose so. But isn't that kind of embarrassing? I could make it worse. No, thank you. Then from now on, when there are other people within earshot, I'll call you Baby Man. I'm sorry, Francesco. He nods, and when a bit of silence settles between us, I realize I've gotten sidetracked. And now I shall give him a normal nickname. Alright, something normal. Philippe. Actually, Philippe is a very good nickname. How about Philippe? Oh, I love it. It's very creative. Good. Then from now, when there are other people within earshot, I'll call you Philippe. He nods, and when a bit of silence settles between us, I realize I've gotten sidetracked. How How do I bring up the subject of Icor? I need to get him to loosen up first. No point in anything unless we've gotten to know each other a little first. Why are you down here in the first place then? You mentioned experiencing all that humanity has to offer. Oh, yes, that is correct. I'm not sure if I'm imagining it or not, but his smile wavers for an instant. My family is very strict, so you see, if they ever caught me loitering near the entrance to this place, they'd put me under house arrest for days. Or, at least, that's how it used to be. Huh. They sound overbearing to the extreme. They just care. I know I haven't painted them in the most flattering light, but they only want to protect me. I shouldn't be bad-mouthing them behind their backs. Not after everything they've done. Then I'm sorry too. Have you left home? He stiffens and lowers his head awkwardly. Not good. He's clamming up. Just as I'm about to figure out how to salvage the conversation, he peeks back up. What about you, Cryptid? You're asking if I left home? He nods slowly. Maybe he's looking for reassurance. Well, since we're, acting as if we don't trust him, not yet. The real answer is I left a long time ago, but yeah, not yet. No, I still stay with them. I haven't figured everything out well enough to move out just yet. But I hope to leave someday, of course. Oh, I understand that. They must treat you very well. I'm sorry. I'm prying. You don't have to answer that. That's all right. I did leave home. I've got duties on the surface, but I wanted to take some time off on my own. He fidgets, but words come easier to him now. Duties? I prod for more answers. Yes, my family hails from a long lineage of successful business owners. They're expecting me to handle one of the newly opened branches once I'm finished here. I don't have much in terms of wiggle room. I have to make them proud. His voice falters as I sense we've reached a difficult topic once more. But I've gotten enough information to satisfy me. His family could be of immense help to me, if I play my cards right. Boisterous laughter and glasses coming together in a merry toast every other minute remind me of how cramped this place is starting to feel. Francesco seems to feel the same, and nearly jumps at the opportunity to stand up. How about some fresh air? I'd love nothing more. He hands the waitress a couple of coins and tells her to keep the change, which would have sounded arrogant if it were anybody else saying it. In his case, however, it doesn't come across like that at all. As we make our way through the crowds and finally make it back outside, I'm expecting relief in the form of a breeze, but I'm instead met with the clammy, unnerving stillness of the cavern air, accompanied by an eerie chill. Though I'm grateful for the cold, it doesn't feel the same. I catch myself before I begin longing for the surface weather, and I turn around to see Francesco no longer trailing behind me. Panic leaves me with my heart in my throat, but not for long. After scanning my surroundings, I find him standing between two well-dressed men, tucked away in an alley between the parlor and the rundown apartment next door. Their attire definitely leans more towards the practical, including weapons looking like small sabers sheathed away neatly at their hip. Their masks look exactly the same as Francesco's. On the contrary to him, though, their lips reveal no emotion. My first instinct is to interrupt, with how seemingly out of the blue they ambushed him. But once I hear fragments of their discussion, I realize he's speaking to them quite naturally, in a language I don't understand. They probably know each other. He's bowing to them. Are they superiors of some sort? I'm starting to feel restless. But by the time I've made up my mind to go introduce myself, the other two slink back into the shadows and disappear without a trace. When Francesco makes his way back to me, he seems conflicted. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Cryptid. They needed to speak to me about something urgent. Make sure you tell me next time. I thought you'd already gone and gotten yourself kidnapped. He shrinks under my gaze, ashamed. Surely you don't think I'm that reckless? Right. So, who were they? Well, they sort of keep an eye on me. You've got babysitters. No. Bodyguards. They're like bodyguards. Do I want to tease him over his babysitters, or, in quotes, or ask about them? I think teasing is more incorporated into the better endings / the ones that might take a bit more effort to get. So I'm gonna just ask about his bodyguards first, because I think we can flirt with him if we tease him. Bodyguards? What for? My family didn't feel comfortable sending me down here without anyone. His expression feels a lot more serious all of a sudden. They need me to be safe. So I will accept whatever I have to, as long as I can stay here for a little while. I've said this before, but they sound like a handful. Francesco is an open book, usually, but this time I can't quite decipher him. They are my family, and family is important to me. It feels like any other question wouldn't be met with much enthusiasm, so I stop. Around us, the crowds continue pushing through the streets. The lanterns cast a warm glow over our faces as our noses are tickled by the various food smells. One bump in the shoulder turns into another. We're in the way, and we've overstayed our welcome. Where do you want to go now? Did you have any plans? Well, he falls silent for a little moment. I have a confession, Cryptid. Can we go to the bridge? Bridge? You don't know where it is? No. Lead the way. At this point, I've still got no leads, and impatience starts to gnaw at my conscience. But I need my conscience to be quiet for a while. I don't know what confession Francesco is talking about, but it feels like he's started to trust me more, even if just a little. That's not good on his part. I mean, we're generally not a horrible person, but you know. Okay. This time it's my turn to trail behind him, allowing myself to be led through the tiny streets of the marketplace. A part of me is still cautious. This could be a trap, but I still those thoughts too. The river comes into view and we follow it until we reach the aforementioned bridge. It's in a pretty good state, considering how long the marketplace has been active. It's made entirely from crimson wood, supported by painted steel beams. Paper lanterns hang haphazardly from the side railing, some dipping so low that they even touch the surface of the water. Despite the people passing over it once in a while, there's a serene quality to it. He turns to face me, smiling. Cryptid, do you remember when I mentioned that this place was where one should go to experience all that humanity has to offer? I do. Suspicion falls over me. Well, that is what I want. I want to experience everything. Huh? What exactly do you mean? I've lived under constant supervision most of my life, and now I finally have a chance to spread my wings. I want to be reckless for once. I want to feel alive, do something just for my own sake. But still, I don't feel like I can do that alone. I think I see where this is going. Yes. Cryptid, please. I'm sure you've got more experience than me. You seem like someone I can trust. I could be a monster for all you know. Let's go on an adventure. An adventure? You'll have to be more specific. Is there somewhere you want to go? Something you want to see? When I said everything, I meant it. I want to pull my first all-nighter. I want to drink and be irresponsible. I want to visit the most underground clubs. I want it all. There are so many sensations I've never felt before, and I'm making it my mission to finally live my life to the fullest. His revelation leaves me slightly surprised. He'd almost sound like an overzealous teenager if not for the subtle desperation in his tone. Sorry, Francesco, it's time I go my own way. I don't find it in me to trust him. No matter how I try to analyze this situation, I always get the sense he's lying to me. Not only that, he's able to do so with a completely straight face. Francesco is sweet, but not sweet enough to fool me. I'm going to have to turn down your offer. His smile instantly dissipates, but I refuse to feel guilty about this. I will not be manipulated. I'm sure you'll find someone who can guide you through this landscape better than I can. Besides, I'm on a bit of a tight schedule. My stomach twists in reminder of how every passing second is a risk, and with that, I turn to leave. Wait! His hand finds the sleeve of my cloak before I can take my first step. Did I do something to upset you? What do you mean, schedule? I shake my head. You ask too many questions. Cryptid! I take my first step, suppressing the way my heart twinges at the desperate sound of my name being called. And with that, I leave. My feet take me back to the crowded street where we came from, in the hopes of finding someone else with the resources to help me. The parlor is still alive with lights and mouth-watering smells, and the sound of violins harmonizing with the grand piano. I don't think twice before diving back inside. That's when I stumble on the crowd of people in the back room, and their sudden roars of laughter. Alright, we're gonna go back because this would just be meeting Oleander again. Go along with him. It might be irresponsible, but I somewhat believe him. What escapes me is how he's able to trust me, a hooded figure among many others in this marketplace. Say I were to accept and join you for this escapade of yours. Why would you choose me? It's not like I've done anything to earn your trust. Maybe I'll be the one who ends up kidnapping you. I have a feeling he's kind of pleased about that. Then at least I'll still be experiencing something new. You got a screw loose, Philip. That might be so, but that's all right. I know you'll have my back. Yeah, I agree with us on this. I have no words, nor the energy to tell him how gullible he's being. Fine. I'm not one of your babysitters. Let's go on an adventure then. That happy little bounce. He is really cute. Cryptid. Francesco almost hops in place with delight. Smiles so bright I can't look away. Thank you. I can't wait. I've got an idea. He frantically points at a street with clothing vendors nearby. The expensive kind. There's somewhere special I want to take us, but we'll need to look our best first. Do you have an evening outfit? Thinking back on it, I've brought nothing of excess. All my belongings are purely practical. Nothing that would make me look my best. No. Then allow me to gift you one, as thanks for accompanying me on this journey. As the warm lights of the lanterns contrast with that of the glowworms, illuminating his face, I think for a second time that he's beautiful. That's very kind of you. The clothing vendors sell an astonishing variety of rare fabrics and beautiful handmade pieces. Silvery satins, purses with jewels stitched into the surface, and nightgowns so long they reach the floor. With how differently everything is cut here compared to the surface, I think it's the perfect opportunity to reimagine my style. But I'm not sure what to choose yet. Do you have any intention of telling me where we're going? Oh, I thought it would be fun to keep it as a surprise. But if you'd really like to know, I want to go to the Mosaic Club. The what? The Mosaic Club. It's one of the largest underground dance halls. No, I'm well aware of what it is. I whisper back in a hush. But Do you realize what kind of dancing happens there? It's far from classic ballroom waltzes. Well, of course not. This is a lot less organized. Francesco. No. People go there to get high on lights and gas. That sounds wonderful. Oh, please, I'm even more excited now. I guess this is what I signed up for. Yes, but first of all, let's find you an outfit. I won't allow you to refuse my gift. It's time for you to have some fun. He's almost pouting at this point. If only you knew. As we make our way through different little stalls, browsing the pieces at a slow pace, my mind wanders back to my predicament. Ractum anima waits for nobody. I think this is the first time the name of our curse has actually been said in this. I mean, of course, I've only done Oleander's route, but still. Is it really such a good idea to be following him tonight? Should I not be looking for the lunar ichor instead? It's a small sacrifice to get to know him better, to show that I'm a trustworthy person, even though what I'm doing is selfish. I swallow my guilt and keep my eyes peeled for the ichor amidst everything else. I can't give up. Finally, inside a quaint tailor's shop, Francesco holds up a piece of fabric. It's pure black silk, luxurious and smooth to the touch, simple but classy. I think a piece made with this could look incredible on you. You think so? Black's my color? Yes. The idea of you wearing this is... His cheeks flush scarlet. I love you, and I want to flirt with you, but no. Whatever's going through his mind is obvious, and I choose to ignore it. I'd rather not make this whole situation more complicated than it already is. When he sees my lack of reaction, he quickly gathers himself and smiles. You'll still be able to blend in with this on, I think. That's important for you, right? It is, actually. Then let's go for this one. Francesco hands the piece of silk over to the tailor, who assesses me with a short nod. I'll need to take your measurements first, dear. Go ahead. Would you like some privacy? I realize I will have to take off my cloak, and so I accept her offer, following her slow steps to the back of her little shop, where there is a discreet corner with a curtain draped across. You may remove your cloak in there, and come out when you're ready. Her voice is gentle and unhurried. It's an almost comedically stark contrast to her mask, which portrays a set of vaguely unnerving, hollow eyes that follow my every move. I shed my cloak without second thought and reveal myself to the tailor. I hold my arms up and allow the elderly woman to wrap the measuring tape around me in quick, practiced motions. In the meantime, she gossips. I hear there's been an increase in festivities recently. There's a change in the air. The underground itself must be going through a metamorphosis. I see many newcomers every single day, I do. Seen anybody who caught your eye? A couple. It's hard to tell since even masks get swapped out with frequency in this area. Oh, there was this one gentleman. What was his name? Absinthe? Well, I plain forgot, but he came by last month. Quite the charmer. And left a great tip, too. Oh, he was just a delight. Wait, isn't that Oleander? Wasn't that one of the names he went by? I also tended to a famous baker called Leva. You know, the one who made those divine earthenberry brioches. I don't have the heart to stop her rambling. Instead, I make a mental note of the names for later use if needed. The measuring tape loosens around my waist as she takes a moment to note down the final number. Did you say you wanted a suit or a dress, dear? A suit. Very well. She nods and carefully writes down some details in her notebook. I hope you won't mind me taking some creative liberties with this. Far from it. I encourage it. Thank you, dear. We make our way back outside where Francesco is waiting, wallet in hand. How long will it take for the piece to be ready? The excitement in his voice is obvious. I can pay extra if you'll make it a priority, madame. And when will you be needing it? Tomorrow. That is very short notice. Creating a full-body piece in that amount of time is beyond ambitious. Consider a week instead. No, please. I'll pay you double. He raises his voice. The sudden desperation confuses me. Surely he's not that impatient. Philip, the Mosaic Club can wait, and so can I. I'll pay triple. Please, madame, there's not that much time. Wait, what? Perplexed, I try to meet Francesco's gaze, but he's focused on the elderly woman. Hey, no answer. $2.75 rum if you want it in time for tomorrow. That is my best offer. Oh, thank you. We'll take it. I raise my voice to protest, seeing as that amount essentially equates to a monthly paycheck. Are you out of your mind? I can't accept that kind of gift. What's wrong with waiting? Finally, he turns to face me, lips set into a thin line, an expression completely unlike him. Please, cryptid. I still don't understand. What does time have to do with any of this? He wouldn't know, would he? I take another long look at the boy in front of me. With his earnest body language and perfectly manicured hands that curl around his purse. Well, I certainly don't know anymore. The tailor reaches out to accept payment from Francesco so quickly I think she's afraid of me changing his mind. Please come back tomorrow night. Thank you, madam. He turns back around to face me and smiles softly, almost nervously. Let's go, cryptid. Without a word, we leave the street and make our way back to the bridge, air thick with tension. I know for a fact we both feel it, that weight on our chests, but we don't breach the silence. We begin following the stream downwards, eyes fixated on the water. It shimmers like a pool of ink in the darkness, opaque and midnight colored. Several theories form in my head. He's either got a secret of his own, or he is nothing more than a petulant child with no concept of patience. But that doesn't seem right. My stomach twists into knots. Maybe he's afflicted by fractomanima too. Then I stop those thoughts dead in their track. I'm being unreasonable. We arrive at a point where the river flows into a small opening on the side of the stone wall and can no longer progress. Around us, voices have hushed, and glowworm light barely illuminates our faces. I don't waste any time and turn to face him. Francesco. He nearly jumps at the sound of his real name. What's got you all agitated? Well, I just got a little too excited about the event. I'm sorry, Cryptid. A little too excited? Right. Alright, we all know that this is BS, but we're gonna let it go for now because I think letting it go is just affection points, as far as I can tell. This somewhat confirms it. He's a terrible liar, and my suspicions only grow. It's meaningless to confront him about it. It'll only scare him off, and he's the only real lead I've found so far. I'm unwilling to sacrifice that. So, as I desperately cling to what may be my only lifeline, I let go of my suspicions for now, and let them float away. It takes me a while to formulate a reply. Well then, at least one of us has the energy to be excited. My answer seems to melt the awkwardness away from him as his shoulders drop into a more relaxed pose, and the corners of his mouth stretch into a sweet smile. I, however, am still rigid with tension. But if it's for the sake of getting along, then it's good that we're going tomorrow, so that you have a chance to rest. I swallow thickly and nod. Yeah, I'll definitely need it. I want to say more, but the words are lodged deep down in my throat. For better or for worse, I keep them there. Eventually, Francesco glances over to the streets behind us, still alive with constantly changing crowds and vendors and music, and I realize I've forgotten about how much time has passed. Though I'm not tired yet, my biological clock tells me it's time to get rest. Will I see you tomorrow then, Cryptid? Of course. I subconsciously check my pockets, relieved to find the keys to the Leaping Bear still lying next to my coin purse. With that and a quick farewell, we part ways. Now that I'm finally alone, the exhaustion comes back full force, and with that, I stop dead in my tracks as a dizzy spell washes over me. My hand grabs at the air for the nearest object of support, in this case, the railing next to the water. Shit. I let the wave of nausea pass with a couple of deep breaths. Then the sensations leave as though they had never happened in the first place. I shouldn't stay out here much longer, not in this kind of state. The way back to the Leaping Bear is straightforward, thankfully. The moment my bedroom door closes behind me, I collapse onto the wooden floor. I make quick work of my mask and toss it aside, relieved to breathe normally again. At least sleep comes quickly now. Not even the worries of how tomorrow will go will keep me awake. When I manage to peel my eyes open, I don't know what time it is. I suspect I've overslept, judging by how crusty and famished I'm feeling. Crusty. That's one way to put it. At least my mind feels clearer than it did yesterday, and I eventually make my way down the stairs and towards the bar, where I order some oatmeal, as usual. Today it's served with different toppings. Caramelized coconut flakes in a dark burgundy-colored syrup. A taste test reveals it's concentrated black currant. Oh dang, that sounds really good. Tonight has the potential for being the biggest mess. I need all the energy I can get. I don't allow myself to dwell on those thoughts for too long, and soon enough I'm out amongst the stalls and wares once more. The wares are, all in all, no different than usual. Each stall will swap inventories once in a while, but the chance of anything rare popping up is minuscule at best. I start to recognize the owner's masks, and they mine. With each passing minute, I'm more and more tempted to go find Francesco. It feels like the only way I'm going to advance my search in any significant way. My fingernails dig into my palm. I should go ahead. I've been searching for a while. I easily find my way back to the tailor's stall where we agreed to meet again. Francesco is already here, leaning against the wall so as not to get in the way. You're early, Philip. Cryptid. Yes, I just couldn't sit still, so I decided to come here as fast as possible. How long have you been waiting? His silence tells me everything I need to know. Let's pick up your outfit first. I believe it's ready now. His lips widen into a soft smile. The tailor beckons me inside, where she hands me the completed garment. My fingertips instantly glide over the surface of the material, a feeling of pure luxury. Once it's on me, the two-piece suit frames my shoulders and hugs the curves of my waist to near perfection. It's an instant confidence boost that makes me stand up straighter. The silk feels divine against my skin. I find myself missing the privacy and safety that my cloak offers, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see an additional cloak placed aside for me, embellished with swirling patterns. The hood comes up again, but I leave a gap in the cloak to reveal the silk underneath. Haha! It is the same design of cloak that we got from Oleander, so I'm going to assume that this cloak is going to come back again in each route, probably? That feels much better. When I step outside of the changing room to reveal my outfit, the tailor quickly smooths some wrinkles away and otherwise nods, satisfied. Quite stunning. Do you like it? Do I ever? Thank you for your hard work. Don't you mention it. We're grateful for your generous patronage. After stashing my previous outfit in a cloth bag, I make my way towards Francesco, who instantly goes rigid, lips nearly trembling. Oh, he's blushing again. He's kind of a dweeb, but I adore him. I hope you did pay her triple. She's done a pretty good job. She did. His voice almost comes out in a squeak. I'm going to assume you like what you're seeing. He pauses. I don't know what to do with myself right now. You look nothing short of magnificent. This is everything I could have hoped for. His compliment feels genuine enough to make me smile. Thank you, Philip. I think we'll look wonderful while we dance. He goes quiet for a bit, then blushes again. Oh, you're welcome. And I agree. I'm sure they won't be able to keep their eyes off you. Shall we? I nod in the direction we're headed in. Yes, right. We bid the tailor farewell and turn around to leave. The side streets we follow take us straight to the entertainment district, where the brothels and bars are pressed together around every corner in barely controlled chaos. Among it all, the Mosaic Club seems worn down. The facade has long since lost its colors, and the only indication of it being said club is a metal sign hanging loosely at the front. At first glance, it doesn't even seem like they want guests. But the black carpet paving the entryway and the slow stream of smoke emanating from somewhere within tells me otherwise. The bouncer with the crow mask allows us through after a quick glance. Don't give us any reason to kick you out, or you'll pay dearly. Excuse me. To my horror, Francesco stops in his tracks and faces the bouncer. Please don't threaten people so casually. It's quite hurtful. He can't be serious. You got a problem, punk? Oh no. Well, yes. We haven't done anything to warrant this kind of treatment. It costs nothing to be kinder to those around you. Francesco, you're so sweet. But no. Hold. You want to tell me how to do my job, punk? Their gravelly, smoky voice cuts through my objection. Why don't I take you out back in the alleyways and show you how things work around here, huh? That won't be necessary. Sorry for the trouble. I'll take care of him. Oh, no, you don't. Just as my hand reaches out for Francesco's arm to pull him out of the way, the bouncer's grip encloses around my wrist. Hard. Not today. Little snots like you who run their smart-ass mouths piss me off the most. And now you want to fricking lecture me? Cryptid? Cool it. We're just coming through. My attempt at freeing myself is futile. They've already gotten a hold of Francesco's fancy coat with a merciless tug. I hear him whimpering from the side. Give me a reason why I shouldn't beat you both senseless right now. Insult them. It's timed. I don't know if you saw that. Adrenaline surges through my veins when I understand reason won't work. Screw you! Stick to your actual priorities. When I make another move to loosen myself, I feel their muscly grip intensify. I know I'll be waking up with bruises tomorrow, but I'm more surprised this hasn't happened sooner. Strangely enough, the bouncer laughs. My priorities. I completely forgot about those. Thank you for reminding me. I catch Francesco's shoulders slumping in relief. So, of course, my very important priorities. That is, ensuring that our wonderful guests experience no disturbance. Disturbances like you. My stomach sinks with dread. They motion their colleague to take their place, and before I can get another word in, the bouncer is dragging us away into one of the grimy side alleys. My nose quickly... oh dear, this music is scary. My nose quickly fills with the dank smell of mold and sweet grass, even more so when I'm unceremoniously tossed to the ground. I hit the pavement with a dull thud. Cryptid! This time his scream is blood-curdling. There's a dangerous glint in the darkness among the mold and damp bricks and trash, a glint belonging to a short switchblade held up to Francesco's throat. No! My voice unexpectedly escapes me, and I have to force myself to suppress it. The fact that we can't even trust a bouncer. Oh, right, you pieces of garbage. I don't have all night, but I think you can at least entertain me while I do my job. They lace their fingers through his hair and tug, pressing the flat side of the blade insistently against him. Stop! You don't get to tell me to freaking stop! You know what you can do, though? Help me decide where I should cut him instead. Give me a half-assed answer or ignore me and I'll slit his freaking throat. Please. My heart wrenches in my chest when I hear the crack in his voice. If I do that, you'll let us go? I might. I almost feel my vision blurring again. My ears are ringing. My chest is tight. Someone's life is in my hands right now. His shoulder. Careful. Instead of listening, the crow rips Francesco's coat aside to gain easy access to his unblemished skin there. Before I get the chance to say any more, the first slice of the knife cuts like butter through the upper layers of his skin. His scream pierces my ears. No, no, please. Shut up. Stop. That's enough. No, I don't think so. I decide when we're done. Really? I have to keep choosing? His lip. Really? Right here? That's quite intimate, isn't it? Their mocking tone makes my stomach convulse. Please, not too much. Nuh-uh. The next slash comes down without mercy. The thinnest spray of blood hits the side of my mask as the scent of iron makes bile rise up in the back of my throat. It hurts. I can make it hurt even more if you don't quiet down, punk. His breath is getting progressively more labored. You are the fucking worst, you shit excuse for a bouncer. Stop. Well, now you're just tempting me to do more. Take your pick, punk. His ribs? Their hands hitch up the fabric of his shirt as Francesco struggles in vain. Nice and sensitive. Good pick. I'm just trying to choose the spots that won't possibly, injure him beyond repair or possibly kill him? No. Another quick slice of the blade tears the loudest scream from his throat yet. He's starting to shake violently, reaching out for me with desperate hands. Cryptid, don't listen to them. Just go. If you leave, he's dead. Their blade plunges in once more as if to prove their intent. His muffled sob makes my own tears come down even harder. That's enough now. I'll tell you when I've had enough. I don't want to keep doing this. I hate this. His heel? Very creative. I think I like you. Don't. I will absolutely get revenge if I can. His shoe comes off and is tossed aside without a care. You freaking coward! I look away this time. I can't bear to see him in pain anymore. The sound of blood splatter and his choked cry tells me everything I need to know. I'm losing my grip. I don't know what's happening anymore. I have to fumble with my mask latches in a cold sweat and turn around just in time to take deep, desperate breaths and not empty the contents of my stomach on the pavement. Please, Cryptid. I can't anymore. I can't do this to him anymore. Just stop. No, you can. I believe in you. Come on. Okay, his spine. Wow, nice pick. How much damage you reckon I can do here? They make sure the shirt remains out of the blade's way, and I realize my mistake far too late. No. I barely register the slash this time. My throat feels tight and constricted as his muffled sounds of pain embed themselves into my brain. I'll never forget the way he sounds right now. Because of me. It's my fault. He's slowing down now. Not as loud either. No. Come on, punk. Let's have another. God, this is horrible. All right. Put him out of his misery. I can't breathe. Every slash of the blade makes him writhe in the crow's grip, and every time I hear his cry, the tears flow more abundantly. We're gonna be a coward for this first ending. Run. My feet react before I can even finish forming another thought. It's pure adrenaline carrying me past Francesco and the crow. I make a mad dash for the alley's entrance, heart in my throat, cold sweat cascading down my back. I feel an icy grip around my heart, one of pure, untapped guilt, as I don't even afford myself the luxury of looking back at Francesco one last time. It's far too easily and too soon that I find myself back on the main paved streets of the marketplace. From here, it's impossible to see what's happening inside the small alley. A passerby would have no idea that just a stone's throw away from the cozy bakery ahead of me, there's a boy laying in a pool of his own blood. My every instinct tells me to scream for help. But above all else, it tells me to keep running. The crow is sure to come for me next. And suddenly, Lunar Ichor no longer feels like a priority. The way back to the surface, however, does. Bad end. You ran away. I sure did. But now we're gonna stay and see what happens and probably get killed. Poor Francesco. Okay, I can do this. Stay. It's too much. I can't run. I can't do anything. I can't take it anymore. Make it stop. You all out of it? Throwing in the towel already? Francesco crumples to the ground as the bouncer releases him, only to point the blade straight at his jugular. You can't. You can't do that. I can, and I will. No, that's right. You can't. On behalf of the Sorry family, if you make another move, we will have your head. Suddenly, a new voice rings out, a harsh echo within the alleyway. I can barely make out the silhouette of someone up ahead, and another restraining the bouncer. Francesco's bodyguards. I collapse as they make quick work of the crow and steady the brunette in their arms. My eyesight tries adjusting to the view, but I'm still recovering from the fear. All shapes around me blur together. Come on, Francesco. We're leaving now. He attempts to croak out an answer, to no avail. I stare up at Francesco, the boy I've disappointed. And I know that when his bodyguards take him away, that'll be the last I ever see of him. Bad end. It's all your fault. Oh boy. I'm gonna work towards getting the last 3 endings. Hopefully none of them are nearly as bad as the 2 that we got before, so let's see how this goes. Don't give us any reason to kick you out, or you'll pay dearly. Excuse me. To my horror, Francesco stops in his tracks and faces the bouncer. You want to tell me how to do my job, punk? Alright. That won't be necessary. Sorry for the trouble. I'll take care of him. Oh, no, you don't. Cryptid. Cool it. We're just coming through. My attempt at freeing myself is futile. They've already gotten a hold of Francesco's fancy coat with a merciless tug. I hear him whimpering from the side. Give me a reason why I shouldn't beat you both senseless right now. Let's see what happens when it times out first. My hands grab at Francesco's arm, and I give it a warning squeeze as I tug him closer to myself. I feel him squirm, but he holds his tongue. Coming through. Yeah, frickin' watch it. Alright, I'm gonna go back and see what happens if we talk about the club's reputation instead. Bring up the reputation. Because you don't want to smear the Mosaic's reputation. They're not paying you enough for this. When silence settles between us, I brace myself for the worst. Then, the bouncer's grip loosens. Bold of you to assume I care about this dump's reputation. I meet their gaze through our masks' eye holes while we take slow, measured steps towards the entrance. If you decide to cause any more trouble in there, nobody will find your corpses tonight. An ugly, icy shiver trails down my spine. But not before I drag my companion inside and out of the crow's reach. My hands grab at Francesco's arm and I give it a warning squeeze as I tug him closer to myself. I feel him squirm, but he holds his tongue. Coming through. Yeah, frickin' watch it. We disappear through the entrance and into the darkened corridor that leads to a bustling cloakroom and a set of bathrooms. It wasn't noticeable at all from the outside, but this place is quite packed. Now standing in line, in hopes of shedding our outerwear, I take a moment to send a stern look through my mask in the boys' direction. I don't need to tell you, that wasn't very clever. Next time you want to play the hero, give me a heads up beforehand. But his response doesn't come as we fall into a familiar silence. My grip around him softens, and instead I move my hand to give his arm a gentle rub. Francesco, no, I understand. I shouldn't have interfered with their job. His crestfallen posture makes my heart unexpectedly ache as it dawns upon me that I feel genuinely bad for scolding him. You were trying to maintain our dignity, so thank you for that. His head droops lower. I've caused you so much trouble, Cryptid. I'm sorry. Raise your head. It's all right. Here, let me take your coat. Whoa. Okay, 1, this music is amazing. 2, that is fancy. I'm gonna have to turn this down pretty far because that's fairly loud. Damn, that's clubbing music right there. When he unbuttons said coat with delicate fingers, it reveals a crisp, freshly ironed shirt underneath in a silvery color that shimmers under the muted lights. It complements his warm, bronzed skin tone to perfection. Even more stunning are the strands of jewelry underneath, all connecting into a gorgeous centerpiece that frames his collarbones beautifully. Very pretty. And he's blushing again. Thank you. It's my favorite outfit, actually. I can see why. It fits you like a glove. Yeah, it does. I hand over his belongings and my own bag, minus the purse that I refuse to part with, to the person in charge, then pocket the numbered coin they give me in return. With my new outfit exposed, I don't miss the way Francesco's gaze lingers on me. Slowly but surely, the previous tension melts away. The low thrum of the bass in the background floods our senses. The smoke blurs the hall, transforming it with its swirling haze. I thought I could make out a smell, but I'm mistaken. The smoke is thick and odorless. We should be safe here. I'm ready to go now. Then let's go in. I hold out my arm towards him, and he takes it, linking us together as we make our way through the rest of the corridor, leading us to the main dance floor. Once inside, I instantly shield my eyes with my free hand. Although there's still a substantial amount of smoke clouding the room, there's no mistaking what we see there. Huge streams of light spilling down on the floor from the ceiling, flickering on and off at a slow, rhythmic pace, close to matching the music itself. The music is unlike anything I've heard before. The instruments sound completely foreign. Most of the soundtrack relies on hushed vocals and some kind of hollow set of percussions. Around us, the sleek wooden walls are raised high, painted a matte black that crumbles at the corners. It's clearly a well-used room that has seen decades of parties and debauchery, and it makes me wonder what kinds of people passed through here. When I look towards Francesco to see his reaction, his mouth is lightly ajar. Not what you were expecting? No, this is better. It's better. Oh, I can't wait to dance. We're surrounded by a mass of people already under the influence of something, though I have a hard time telling what. Many are clinging to each other, desperate for physical touch. Others dance on their own, focused so intently on the music that I think they wouldn't notice if someone set the place on fire. There's a determination and purpose to their every movement. I thought the lights and gas would affect us a lot quicker. Maybe we still need to give it some time. My companion has already moved closer to the center, walking in sync to the music. His hips are swaying lightly and his shoulders loosen. I keep my distance at first. I'm not sure how I feel about this atmosphere yet. What I do know is that several other dancers already have their eyes on Francesco, and it's not hard to see why. He's really good at dancing. I find it surprisingly difficult to avert my eyes from the scene. His whole body language transforms with every beat, a complete metamorphosis happening right before my eyes. On occasion, he slows, stagnates, almost as though hesitant, as though still in the process of shaking off the rust. But then, with another confident step, he rises and embraces the music. I have to force myself over to the counter to pick up some drinks, as the image of Francesco dancing in an almost sensual, otherworldly fashion leaves my mouth dry. 2 sour gills, please. The bartender makes quick work of my order. Lime peel, blueberries, chunks of ice, a couple of glugs of some nondescript liquor. I smell its refreshing whiff even from where I'm standing. She slides the glasses in front of me in one smooth motion, and I quickly pay up, throat itching for a sip of something cold. By the time I find Francesco again, he's not alone. An eccentrically outfitted dancer sways with him, and another has their fingertips digging into the sides of his hips, leaning down to whisper something sweetly in his ear. He shifts, adjusting his moves to match the crowded surroundings he now finds himself in. I'm hit with the realization that they look really good, all of them together, engulfed by the club's heat, soaking in the burgundy lights. And then I feel a familiar tightness in my chest. What? My lips twist in displeasure. I was gonna say, are we jealous? It's jealousy. I'm jealous. Absolutely pathetic. It feels petty. The idea that this stranger would make me feel anything of that variety. But here I am. I consider the thought for a while. So I don't think this choice right here affects any ending, but we're gonna leave it be for now because I am going for a specific ending. I decide to hang back at the bar, leaning against the counter with our drinks. There really is no point to me interfering. I take a long gulp of my sour gill, savoring the trail of fire it leaves behind with the subtle aftertaste of citrus. It's not long before I can't help myself and peek back up at Francesco, who is still engrossed in the music. The second dancer presses their torso into his back and reaches over to tilt his chin, diving in to claim his parted lips. That is, until he politely but firmly holds up his hand to stop their approach. They exchange a few words and the stranger leaves. The other one follows soon when they see he's uninterested in anything other than dancing. He's assertive when he wants to be. Interesting. I take that opportunity to come over with his drink. Are you having fun, Philip? Cryptid. I am. There's something very special about dancing to music you really love. I'd go for the whole night if I could. We're in no rush. Don't worry about curfews on my account. Yes. His bouncing enthusiasm makes a smile unwittingly creep to my lips under the mask. The music speeds up a notch. Now fully immersed in the center of the club, I take a deep breath. And I realize with cautious skepticism that I feel no different than usual. I should at least feel some brain fog, some slowness, something by now. We've been here long enough for it to enter our system. Francesco seems to be affected though, tipsy looking, almost. My eyes trail over his dancing figure, the elegant movements, the passionate whip back of his hair, and I know he doesn't have a care in the world right now. So what gives? This is so much fun. His hand pulls me towards him as we stumble into a rhythmic dance of our own. I keep him upright, he keeps me moving. We form a symbiosis of patterned movements and clumsy twirls until it smooths out and we find our balance. The steady bass reverberates within my chest. Yeah, it is. The blueberry-laced drinks go down without resistance. It hits me, not long after, that I too feel free. Amidst the crowd of strangers, the dimmed, strobing lights, and the ever so slightly too loud music, nobody will remember me tonight except for the person in front of me. Francesco twirls me again, face lighting up with a smile I can only describe as euphoric. Under my mask, I smile back. I'm about to raise my hands in an effort to dance more, when the song ends in an almost abrupt manner. In its stead, a heavy, deeply bassy pulsation spreads through the room. It's unlike anything I've ever felt before. Rhythm so intense it reaches into my chest and grasps at my heart. Whoa. Oh wow, this is cool. Thump, thump, thump. What's happening? Someone must have gotten a little creative with their music sheets. It feels harder to get the words out. They swim like thick syrup across my tongue. This rhythm is like... Francesco stumbles again, harder, and I try my best to support his weight on my shoulder. It's a heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. The lights pulsate in unison, glowing with bright shades of red and pinks and browns. The smoke changes too. There's a distinct smell to it now. Something slightly leathery and earthy. It's intoxicating. I try to refocus my thoughts on more productive things, such as maybe leaving, but my mind is clouded by a slowly increasing haze. There's not much time. Francesco is leaning on my shoulder, steadying his breath. He looks like he is not in good shape, poor baby. I catch a whiff of his scent, a bit of patchouli, a hint of sage, and something warm. It's completely unexpected. Has he always smelled this good? Has he always been this close? Hey, Philip? He nuzzles in closer. Hey! Get it together. This isn't what we came here for. He peeks up at me, perfectly still for a while. Is it not? Attending a glorified musical hormone bath? No, I don't think so. I have to force myself to push him back into an upright position, where he stands in a daze, taking in his slowly morphing surroundings. Then he crumples back onto me. We feel it, the increase in temperature, the surge of pheromones, and the musk in the air. Ugh. It's so tangible and intense that even complete strangers fall into each other's arms. He gasps, and I know why. Whatever this cocktail of mind-altering components is, it's very effective. Around us, hands rove over bare shoulders. Fingers curl into thick locks of hair. Lips mesh together in pure desperation. It is wild and untapped, and so very raw. With every bassy beat, I feel my grip on reality fading. Francesco has never looked so mouth-watering. It takes everything in me not to throw myself on the boy in front of me. The unbuttoned shirt, the creamy, slightly damp skin it reveals, the way he's staring up at me like I'm the only one he can anchor himself onto. Hey, handsome. The voice in my ear makes me stand on end. It's a petite person with a bright, breathy voice clinging on to the fabric of my cloak. Their lips nip at the shell of my ear insistently as I attempt to free myself from their grip. Couldn't help but notice your outfit. You in need of company? No, thank you. I suppress the uncomfortable flush of heat in my body and uncurl their fingers. Don't touch me like that. Yeah, this would be my reaction too. Save for maybe punching someone. I need something. I need help. What? No. My head whips back to see Francesco with his arm outstretched towards the crowd, panicking. What's going on? My purse. They took my purse. Uh-oh. Of all the times. When I turn around to throw the person off me for good, they've already vanished into nothing. I'm briefly seized by panic as I pat myself down to check for all my belongings, but it seems their hands didn't make it under my cloak, so I breathe a heavy sigh of relief. Then, with the adrenaline quickly leaving my system, the haze reclaims me. Come on. Let's find your purse and give those thieves a piece of our mind. Yes. He fidgets nervously, writhing on the spot. I can tell he's holding himself back to the point of discomfort. Let's find them. Oh boy. Bathrooms? Bathrooms tend to be a decent hiding spot in most clubs as they're packed with people. We have to wedge ourselves in between long waiting lines instead, shuffling past anxious patrons and a handful of groaning dancers with blister-inducing heels. Do you really think they would have come here cryptid? Well, hiding among crowds is one of the oldest tricks in the book. Doesn't hurt to give it a try. Hey, quit pushing! We push for a little longer, but see nobody out of place. Let's go back. Yeah. Where to next? Think the entrance is the next place we'll look? I dread the idea of crossing paths with the crow bouncer once again, but time is not on our side. Besides, where else would they go? We travel quickly, only stopping when we reach the exit and take in our surroundings. Nobody here. The bouncer surveys us with wary eyes. You lot. We're sorry for the trouble. Have you seen two people in cracked masks run out of here? No, but I sure can arrange for that. Come here, punk. Excuse me? This better not be happening again. It's no use. Let's go back inside. Yeah, that's right. Run while you can. I bite back another insult before nudging Francesco back inside with me, and we sigh in near unison. That person is not having a good day, I think. I don't think they ever do. We pause for a second. Where to next? Back of the dance floor. Again, we wrestle through tight formations of people and manage to squeeze our way to the back. where we're greeted by another dark wall. See anybody you recognize? No, I don't think so. He's growing more tense by the minute. I don't blame him. This is awful. We trail along the edge of the wall to one end of the club to the other, narrowly dodging couples, clothes, and the occasional passed-out drunk on the floor. It's growing unbearably hot in here. Every breath feels like inhaling tepid vapors. The people on this side of the club are too distracted to offer any kind of coherent answer. I can't blame them either. Should we look somewhere else? Yeah, there's nothing here. Stay calm. Where to next? Dark corner? I'm not sure what I was expecting, but the far corner of the club is decorated with dark velvet drapes to cover some peeling paint. And a few armchairs. There's nothing here. That is, except for one lone shirtless customer who's busy filling a tiny glass pipe with a clear liquid. I don't need to ask to know that it's probably not water. You need something. Not from here, no. I don't mind sharing. Your drugs? I think I'll pass. Beside me, Francesco pipes up, but I shoot him a warning look before he has the chance to say anything. Not now, you rascal. You're right. He returns to his senses, keeping his eyes peeled on our surroundings. It's the good stuff, though. This sight actually strikes me as rare. His mask barely covers his face, so I see his eyes. Tired, lidded eyes. The bass is only getting more intense by the second. My body feels so unbelievably heavy. For a second, I'm almost tempted to have a seat with him. That second quickly passes as I remember my purpose for being here in the first place. Have you seen a short duo with high-pitched voices and cracked masks? Quick on their feet? Maybe. Memory's foggy, though. Vaguely remember someone carrying something. Loud metallic sounds, that's about it. That might just be a lead. We could be going in the right direction. We'll just be on our way. Thanks. Enjoy the night. Where to next? Soundstage? Up close to the musicians, I feel the deep pulsations even more. This part of the club is especially affected. Clothes litter the floor and masks are strewn about haphazardly. Nothing here? I check with Francesco, who shakes his head slowly. No, nothing. His gaze lingers on two barely dressed dancers rubbing against each other, and I have to give his arm a short tap. It's too loud here. We have to go. Yeah. Keep your eyes to yourself, Philip. They'll think you want to join, and he probably does a little bit. No, that's not it. We push past the scantily clad crowd and keep searching, when some of the masks on the floor seem to grab his attention. They were wearing these masks. So they've been through here, ditched their masks and everything, the slippery bastards. We need to keep going. Yes. Where to next? Actually, I don't think. I doubt we'll find them at this point. It's been too long. How much did you have in your purse? My heart sinks right down to my stomach. Don't tell me those were your life savings. His breath hitches. I had no choice. I had to take it all with me. What? Shit. We stand in uncertain silence for a while, slowly weighed down by the realization of what just happened. It's not your fault, Cryptid. You couldn't help it. There's nothing I can do right now. Authorities, if you want to call them that, are useless here. People are victims of petty thieves all the time. These thieves could have also just shed their masks and blended into the crowds, and we'd be no wiser. Tell me, what are you going to do now? His lower lip trembles. I'm going back up. To my family, that is. Are you sure? He tenses up before unexpectedly raising his voice. What else can I do? I have nothing to pay for anything here. I'm a failure. There's no other way but up. We don't have to give up, Philip. We don't have to. But I will. Dejected, he takes a step back and then another. Fran, I'm sorry. Goodbye. He's gone before I can make another move, and I'm alone once again. I want to believe the horrible feeling in my chest is a consequence of having lost a precious lead for Lunar Ichor, but I know that it's because I've lost him now. All I can do is search more for Ichor and perhaps for a stuffed purse. Perhaps a chance to see Francesco again. Even if that chance is but a slim one. Bad end. You were too late. Alright, now I'll go get the neutral end and then his good end. Alright, so I think I can get the neutral end without going back for the affection points. Because it should be 3 or fewer, so... Search the dark corner. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but the far corner of the club is decorated with dark velvet drapes to cover some peeling paint and a few empty armchairs. There's nothing here. We'll skip ahead. That might just be a lead. We could be going in the right direction. We'll just be on our way. Thanks. Enjoy the night. Alright. Soundstage. Up close to the musicians, I feel the deep pulsations even more. This part of the club is especially affected. Clothes litter the floor and masks are strewn about haphazardly. So they've been through here, ditched their masks and everything, the slippery bastards. We need to keep going. Yes! Where to next? The bar. We're back at the bar where I previously ordered our drinks, but it's eerily empty for such a busy night. Well, of course, everyone is more interested in each other. Have you seen anybody suspicious come through here? The bartender's semi-raised mask exposes sweaty, pallid skin and barely trembling lips, like she's close to passing out. No, what do you mean by suspicious? They were two fairly short people. Their masks were cracked, I think, and they were awfully fast. If they came through here, then I didn't see them. Although, now you mention it, Did see two people who hung around here for a little bit. Didn't order anything though, just left after a few seconds. I'm guessing you didn't see where they were headed? My head is blasting. Thank you anyways. Yes, it's all right. We'll find them. We can't go on for much longer though. This music is getting intense. Where to next? The very center of the crowd. By the time we make it to the very center of the crowd, I've lost Francesco again. This time I allow it. I can always reunite with him at a later point. That's not so much the case with his purse. My eyesight is starting to blur a little at this point, and there's a heady warmth swirling inside me, growing with every intake of smoke. But I do see something. No way. Francesco is holding a coin pouch standing in front of two very skittish people. In return, he holds out some cracked masks to them. I'm sorry, but I hope you understand why I'm asking you to return this. What you did wasn't very kind. Please take your masks back too, okay? You're making a mess of the floor otherwise. He's lecturing them about theft. I've never met someone with so little common sense. Anyway, please don't do that again, okay? The thieves don't say a single word. Their eyes meet, and after another moment of uncomfortable silence, they take leave after taking the masks from him. I finally join him. Philip. Cryptid, look, I got my money back. Oh, I'm just so happy I could dance. He stumbles, knees shaking. Well, you could dance, or you could take a break on one of the benches outside where we're not getting pumped full of pheromones. But we're only getting started. How did you manage to get a hold of that pouch anyway? Oh, I just asked them. You can't be serious. But I am. You know I wouldn't lie to you. What? What thief would just hand over their treasure? It makes no sense. Right. Inside me, doubt continues to claw relentlessly. What is it that really happened here? Yeah, he's hiding something for sure. I think. I can't tell. I don't have the time to ponder the question all that much because the haze swiftly returns to my mind. The blurry heat of hot smoke and heartbeat-like bass leaves my sanity hanging on by a thread. It's so hard to breathe. I turn to face Francesco again. He's squirming still, trying to shake off the heavy fog with some more dancing, only for his body to give up on him a few seconds later. Hey. No, I don't want to leave. I heave a shaky sigh, trying my utmost to stay sane. Then my hand finds its way to the top of his head to give his hair a ruffle. He easily slumps under my touch. We have to. We're not safe here. I don't care. Well, I do. We'll come back someday. But for now, this isn't right. After a few seconds of hazy silence, he nods and gazes back up, lips twisted in uncertainty. You promise we'll come back? Yeah, I promise. After one last peek around the crowded, pheromone-soaked locale, we scurry towards the exit, stepping over piles of clothes and dancers as we do. What seemed like the beginning of a night of debauchery just a few minutes ago is starting to morph into something more aggressive. Gasps ripple through the crowd when the first punch is thrown. Then the second one results in a third, and by the time we've made it out of the main room, it's a cacophony of screams and bloodied knuckles. That could have been us. We're safe. The cold cavern air has never felt so good before. I fill my lungs with it, taking in deep gulps of oxygen, until I feel the fog slowly lifting from my mind. Every breath after that, my thoughts come easier. I'm overcome with relief, grounding myself 1 second at a time, and I see Francesco coming to his senses too. Looks like the smoke doesn't stay in the system all that long. The streets are still as alive as when we entered the club, as we quickly find ourselves on the road to a quieter location. Fran falls into step beside me, hesitant. Cryptid? Hey. Feeling a little better? Yes, but I acted strangely while I was under the influence, didn't I? His cheeks are deeply flushed. Well, that's hardly your fault. Those were some pretty hefty gases in the air. That's no excuse. I can only ask you for your forgiveness and hope that I can make it up to you someday. His shoulders slump, crestfallen. I think we completed our mission, though. Experiencing things, right? That includes awkward mishaps. Oh. We share a smile. Yes, I suppose you're right. Our footsteps take us back to the bridge where he first gave me his confession. The lanterns still soak our surroundings in rich reds, reflecting against the inky darkness of the river surface. The only sound that cuts through the crowd's buzzing in the background is the water's slow trickling. Finally, we've got a place to breathe. I hope you still had fun, despite the interruption. Yes, I did. But did you? It was something, that's for sure. Oh. You better not be thinking of apologizing. The guilty tug of his lips tell me everything I need to know. Let's hang out a bit before we go. There's something I want to ask you. We both slump down on the damp wooden boards of the bridge. Now that we're here, my mind hones back in on the actual goal. The lunar ichor. I want to press him some more on his family. There's still so much I don't know about the person in front of me. But I can't do that right now. My mind churns on possibilities. I'm relying on his apparent richness and influential family to be able to lead me to ichor one way or another. I'd be indebted to them for life, but I'd live, at least. The chance of him lying is real, and so is the chance of his family not being able to afford it, either. Then the chance of someone spending that amount on somebody they barely know is slim at best. Am I doing the right thing? I'm taking such an extreme risk. But if I search on the side and keep my eyes peeled, I decide that it's a risk I'm willing to take. Cryptid? Huh? What did you want to ask me? No, it's nothing. I'm glad we met. Oh, yes, me too. If he's confused by my sudden withdrawal, he doesn't show it. Instead, we bask in the cavern air and the glowing lantern lights. We don't speak during this time. We just let the minutes pass until my back starts feeling a little sore and my stomach rumbles in protest. I'm going to start heading back. Yes, it's about time to rest. Will you be all right getting back on your own? You're the one asking me? Yes, thank you. I'll be fine. Silence hangs in the air for a little moment until he reaches for my hand again, and just like when we first met, he kisses the back of my hand. Then I'll see you soon. Tomorrow, maybe? You're on. When I start heading back, taking a long detour around the maze of stalls, I smile under my mask. I'm tired, but my new friend gives me energy. Enough energy to sweep through the newly arrived merchandise one last time for the day and see if anyone has any new information. It doesn't take long for a creeping discomfort to prickle at the back of my neck. What? I speed up a little, but the sensation never leaves. When I turn around, I understand why. I'm faced with two people in masks and outfits that I can't help but recognize. It's the bodyguards. His bodyguards. Hello, cryptid. I hope you don't mind us taking a bit of your time. After all, you've been spending a lot of time with the young master. The young master, ah. Is there something I can help you with? Naturally. It's simple, really. We just need you to cease all contact with the young master. This is going to be rough. And why is that? He's an adult. He's free to make his own decisions. You're wrong. You live in two very different worlds, I believe. You may not understand the kinds of responsibilities he has on the surface. So please do him and us a favor by leaving him alone. Yes. I've done nothing wrong. You are getting in the way. Yes, in the way of his important duty. Consider this our first and last warning. I'm seething. And I don't find it in me to answer them. Instead, I nod and wait until they're on their way. Treating me like some kind of scum. Ugh. It's all I can think of, all the way back to the Leaping Bear. How can I meet with Francesco with these pesky guards watching our every move? I'm so tired, too tired to think about it right now. The warm atmosphere of the inn and the clean sheets welcome me after an eventful night. I tear my mask off and toss it aside without much regard, collapsing into the bed shortly after. There's still so much I need to do, but I have to take it one step at a time. And so, after closing my eyes, a dark, dreamless sleep quickly takes me. The day after, I disregard the bodyguard's warnings and decide to make my way to our usual meeting spot at the bridge. It's a long shot, but Francesco would know to find me here. And those guards cannot blame me for it. I doubt they'd hurt the young master either. Sure enough, what I estimate to be half an hour after setting myself down, I notice him jogging over with the usual wide smile on his face. Cryptid. Hey, Philip. He scratches the back of his head, occasionally looking back nervously. I assume they've confronted you, so he knows. They gave me a bit of an earful, yes. He's quiet for a second. My goodness, I am digging this music. Yes, I'm sorry. I can't stay for long. My heart sinks. That's fine. We'll figure it out. We will. I still want to continue our adventures, but we'll have to be careful from now on. I don't want them to... To what? I don't know. They'll do everything to make sure I get back to the surface soon. The lump in my throat only grows. What is it that's so important up there, Francesco? He hesitates again. I told you before, Cryptid. I can't tell you yet. Bear with me, please. I'm sorry. His constant apologies do nothing to calm my doubts, but all I can do is accept. Where are we headed to next? I'll let you know. I haven't decided yet, but I'm sure we'll have another great adventure before long. His head turns around again, body language oozing paranoia. I have to go. But let's meet here tonight, okay? I stand up, then brush off my cloak. Yeah, let's. He's off before I can give him a proper goodbye. In the wake of his departure, all I can do is stare at the lanterns, swaying calmly above the water. We'll figure it out. I repeat that to myself over and over until I'm ready to lose myself in the marketplace again and prepare myself for another round of lunar ichor hunting. We'll figure it out. Neutral end. There are uncertain days ahead. All right, now we'll get the good end. I'll show all of his relationship stuff, like the good ones, because we only got the neutral or bad ones, so. All right, we're back here. Oh my god, with the amazing music. I'm gonna have to look up the music for his route, see if there's any just tracks on YouTube or something, but we're back here. Francesco gave us his name and we're like, is he serious? So let's trust him. There's nothing to suggest he isn't a crook, except for my gut feeling. But this gut feeling is strong. It's reckless to believe anybody down in the underground. So I'll have to be cautious, but for now I'll choose to open my mind. Listen, you can't go around waving that card or giving out your name willy-nilly. That's just asking for trouble down here. Again, he's taken off guard. Really? Yes, do you know where you are? A wonderful place. I've been told that if you want to experience everything that humanity has to offer, then this is where you must go. Well, that's one way of looking at it. That being said, we should find you a temporary name for when you're down here. A new secret name? Will you come up with one for me, Cryptid? We're gonna choose something normal, because, yes. We'll stick with Philip, why not? Alright, I think we're gonna go ahead until the next choice. You're asking if I left home? He nods, slowly. Maybe he's looking for reassurance? I left a long time ago. I was out of my parents' hair very quickly, didn't want to hang around much. That's the way I was raised anyway. Wanted me to be someone independent and self-sufficient. Do you still have contact with them? Oh, I'm sorry. That's personal. You don't need to answer that. Another wave of silence passes. I sort of envy you for that. You're very brave for taking control of your life. There never was another option for me. You're so strong. It's so easy to make him happy. Well, I did leave home. I've got duties on the surface, but I wanted to take some time off on my own. He fidgets, but words come easier now. I prod for more answers. Yes, my family hails from a long lineage of successful business owners. They're expecting me to handle one of the newly opened branches once I'm finished here. Encrypted is gonna go on ahead. Alright, so we're gonna be teasing him about his bodyguards in a second. But by the time I've made up my mind to go introduce myself, the two others slink back into the shadows and disappear without a trace. When Francesco makes his way back to me, he seems conflicted. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Cryptid. Make sure you tell me next time. Thought you'd already gone and gotten yourself kidnapped. He shrinks under my gaze, ashamed. Surely you don't think I'm that reckless. So, who were they? Well, they sort of keep an eye on me. You've got babysitters? No, bodyguards. They're like bodyguards. Tease. Under my mask, I smile. So, little Philip needs babysitters, huh? Big boy can't even take care of himself? That's not true. It's too easy to rile him up. Okay, so flirting is the right option, but let's try these others. Keep pushing. It's too satisfying not to continue. My own curiosity only grows. Do I need to ask them for permission to take you along? Maybe sign some papers while I'm at it? Hey! This time he starts to pout. I am an adult. Please treat me like one. The fact that you even have to ask is very amusing. Cryptid, please stop. I notice his lips twisting into a frown, and that's when I know I've taken it too far. Sorry, I just wanted to tease you. Apology accepted. That little smile. This guy is great. I love Francesco. Around us, the crowds continue pushing through the streets, and I am gonna go back and flirt. Because leaving it be, I think, is similar to what we did before. Flirt. I feel emboldened by how quickly his ears grow red. How all this time he's been too soft to refute my claims in any sort of way. Deep inside, I feel a new flame starting to flicker and come alive. I mean, he is really cute. A subtle surge of warmth that comes with having power. For a moment, I let it wash over me. I could take care of you instead, Philip. All you have to do is ask. Just when I think his blushing couldn't get any more prominent, his cheeks heat up. I'm delighted. I could make it a lot more interesting for you. What are you, Cryptid? After letting him mull over the implications for 1 second too long, I allow the emotions of the moment to pass. I'm just being mean. Sorry, Philip. No, it's okay. The smile illuminating his face just then makes everything worth it. Around us, the crowds continue pushing through the streets. The lanterns cast a warm glow over our faces as our noses are tickled by the various food smells. Alright, I'm gonna go on ahead. Okay, so we're here with him choosing our outfit. Technically, this choice does not affect relationship points, but we're gonna flirt with him. The idea of you wearing this is... His cheeks flush scarlet. Flirt. Why don't you finish your sentence? Oh. Well, it's just that... I'll wait. He looks away, clearly ashamed. It fits with the atmosphere where we're going. It's powerful and elegant and... He fumbles. Keep going. I want to see you wearing such a powerful outfit. Is that wrong? Under my mask, I smile, deeply satisfied. Cute. Let's just go for this one, then. Francesco hands the piece of silk over to the tailor, who assesses me with a short nod. All right. Ahead. See you then. All right, we're out of the shop, and we're wondering why Francesco is so impatient for us to go to the club. I don't waste any time and turn to face him. Francesco. He nearly jumps at the sound of his real name. What's got you all agitated? Well, I just got a little too excited about the event. I'm sorry, Cryptid. A little too excited? Right. Bullpucky. Nice try. Instead of trying to pull the wool over my eyes, you ought to admit there's something you're hiding from me. So you're lacking time, but why is that? He's semi-stunned into silence, lip quivering, his head droops. Again, the guilt rears its ugly head, but I brush it off, focusing entirely on the man in front of me. It's not as though you're not hiding anything from me either. I feel my pulse accelerating. Of course, he's right, but that doesn't stop me from curling my lips in distaste, thankfully hidden away behind the privacy of my mask. Is it really so wrong to hide some things? His voice raises in volume. Is it, Cryptid? Is it wrong to withhold information in the underground? I'm not going to stand my ground. Not only does it lose a relationship point, but I'm pretty sure this video is going to be pretty long, so let's just apologize. I need to let it go. Pushing him won't get me anywhere. I cannot let my own stubbornness be my downfall. You're right. Saying those words is harder than I care to admit. We both have our reasons. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize, please. He comes a little closer, hand reaching out for my arm. His fingers barely brush against my sleeve as he retracts them just as quickly. You don't need to explain. As long as I can't offer an explanation of my own, then it's unfair of me to ask you. His smile is hesitant at first, but when I give him a nod, it breaks out in full force. Thank you for understanding. I'm glad you're being honest with me, even though we do not know each other so well. All good. Even though I'm back at square one, I feel slightly relieved. Somewhere, deep inside, I really don't think he's lying. Eventually, Francesco glances over to the streets behind us, still alive with constantly changing crowds and vendors and music, and I realize I've forgotten about how much time has passed. Though I'm not tired yet, my biological clock tells me it's time to get rest. Will I see you tomorrow then, Cryptid? Yes, you will, but I'm gonna skip ahead to the next choice. Alright, I do have this choice where we're getting jealous, and I can choose to ruminate on that. Let's do something about being jealous. I don't like this. Seeing them claim him for themselves. Can't believe I'm doing this. Another warm surge of power floods my veins as I make my way towards the dance floor, locking eyes with Francesco for a split second before concentrating on the unwelcome guests. Hey. Hey, darling. They sound just barely slurred. What's wrong, Cryptid? Hands off the boy. What are you on about? We're having a good time. The other stranger chimes in. Yeah, you don't own him. Maybe I do. Wow, that's a little messed up, but whatever. I don't feel like myself. Come here, Philip. Seriously, you're one of those. Francesco searches my gaze, baffled. So sad. We're just here for a good time. Loosen up a little, pal. Cryptid. I really should. Oh my god, why are we like this? No, I thought this was gonna be like kind of like, oh hey, Francesco, dance with me instead. No, we're kind of a jerk. I really shouldn't have to repeat myself. He's mine. The words come out more forcefully than expected. With a slight grumble, they slink away, disappearing into the darkening crowd ahead of us. When they're gone, the sudden warmth leaves me. My shoulders loosen, my jaw unclenches, and I feel in control again. What just happened? Just got a little carried away. Good on you, buddy. Good on you. Cryptid, I'm not yours. No, you're not. You're a free person. But as long as we're doing this together, you're under my protection. I can barely make it out amidst the dim lighting, but I notice his face flushing scarlet. Yes, I understand. He should have given us more of an earful, but whatever. The music speeds up a notch. Now fully immersed in the center of the club, I take a deep breath. Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead. The center of the crowd. By the time we make it to the very center of the crowd, I've lost Francesco again. But this time, I allow it. I can always reunite with him at a later point. The thieves don't say a single word. Their eyes meet, and after another moment of uncomfortable silence, they leave after taking the masks from him. I finally join him. Philip? Cryptid, look, I got my money back. Oh, I'm just so happy I could dance. He stumbles, knees shaking. Well, you could dance, or you could take a break on one of the benches outside where we're not getting pumped full of pheromones. But we're only getting started. How did you manage to get a hold of that pouch anyway? Oh, I just asked them. You can't be serious. But I am. You know I wouldn't lie to you. What? What thief would just hand over their treasure? It makes no sense. Right. Inside me, doubt continues to claw relentlessly. What is it that really happened here? I don't have the time to ponder the question all that much because the haze swiftly returns to my mind. The blurry heat of hot smoke and heartbeat-like bass leaves my sanity hanging on by a thread. It's so hard to breathe. I turn to face Francesco again. I think this is different. Less than a second later, Francesco crumples on the floor. Hey! Keep it together, Philip. I can't. When I kneel down to check on him, barely able to support my own weight, his hands pull me in. Our masks collide together with a dull thud. Take your mask off. Please, Cryptid, please. I want to see you. I want to kiss you. Oh, fuck. I feel my own body respond immediately, surging with the sweetest of warmth. Francesco, not like this. You're under the influence. Every fiber of my body, every single cell wants me to claim this man. But not like this. This is screwed up. He's whimpering, clawing at the folds of my clothes in pure desperation. Please. No. No, stand up. We have to go. But, no buts. You need fresh air. After one last peek around the crowded, pheromone-soaked locale, we scurry towards the exit, stepping over piles of clothes and dancers as we do. The cold cavern air has never felt so good before. I fill my lungs with it, taking in deep gulps of oxygen until I feel the fog slowly lifting from my mind. Every breath after that, my thoughts come easier. I'm overcome with relief, grounding myself 1 second at a time, and I see Francesco coming to his senses too. Looks like this smoke doesn't stay in the system all that long. Thank God for that. I'm going to start heading back. Yes, it's about time to rest. Will you be all right getting back on your own? We still didn't tell him about the lunar ichor or ask him about his family. This was all basically the same. So I'm just going on ahead. Silence hangs in the air for a little moment until he reaches for my hand again. And just like when we first met, he kisses the back of my hand. Then I'll see you soon. Tomorrow, maybe. You're on. We're gonna get confronted by the jerky bodyguards. How can I meet with Francesco again with these pesky bodyguards watching our every move? I'm so tired, too tired to think about it right now. The warm atmosphere of the inn and the clean sheets welcome me after an eventful night. I tear my mask off and toss it aside without much regard, collapsing into the bed shortly after. There's still so much I need to do, but I have to take it one step at a time. And so, after closing my eyes, a dark, dreamless sleep quickly takes me. The day after, I disregard the bodyguard's warnings and decide to make my way to our usual meeting spot at the bridge. It's a long shot, but Francesco would know to find me here. And those guards cannot blame me for it. I doubt they'd hurt their young master either. Sure enough, what I estimate to be half an hour after setting myself down, I notice him jogging over with the usual wide smile on his face. Cryptid. Hey, Philip. I'm so happy you still came, I thought. When I see him shake, I cast all my doubts aside and pull him in for a tight hug. Oh, we're hugging the boy. Don't worry. No bodyguard will stop us from seeing each other. Oh, I feel the warmth of his fingers around the back of my head and around my waist. I'm sorry for their patronizing ways. They've always been like that for as long as I can remember. Don't listen to them, please. Taking orders has never been my forte. We stand in silence, basking in the lights and quiet ambience. I never asked if you recovered from yesterday. Oh, the same thing seems to run through our minds, the memories of his desperation and heated words so utterly sweet. Our masks are so close they touch again, but neither of us makes a move to remove them. I've recovered, but you're making it difficult to recover from some others. You'll have to be more specific. The teasing warmth between us makes me chuckle. Maybe one day. We slowly let the heat fade. Then he lifts his head. I've figured out what to do next, by the way. Really now? Yes, I've always wanted to try silver dust. You... Philip? Are you out of your mind? That stuff's addictive and expensive. It'll be only once, I'm sure it's okay. I sigh. Well, if you insist. Can't promise I'll be along for the ride, though. I just need you by my side. That's all. He's so irresponsible, but I can't leave him alone. Please. All right, but you should probably skedaddle before your babysitters find you. Yes, you're right. Okay. Then let's meet back up here tonight. Does that sound good? It's perfect. Go now. We both turn around and make ourselves scarce, but I know we're both smiling. Because despite all these circumstances, we're doing okay. Best end. The adventure has only just begun. That was fun! Well, obviously I am going to be leaving this here. We will be tackling Kier's route next. I think that's how you say his name, I'm not sure. But we'll be going to the thief next, and we'll obviously be ending on the priest? But anyways, if you made it this far, I hope that you enjoyed this. This was a heck of a lot of fun. Francesco is a bit of a mess, but he's also really sweet, and I understand his reasoning for being the way that he is because he's under his parents' thumb. But regardless, thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I am having a lot of fun with this, and if you did like it, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of me but you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. I upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, as well as extras and shorts randomly throughout the week. I also stream on Twitch. It's been changing a bit, but Saturdays are usually the only constant, so if you want to see me live, come on by then. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye!